Let's begin. Today is June 21st, 2024, and we're solving the Daily Turing Machine Puzzle. Today's puzzle uses 5 criteria cards and it's 5 verification cards. Let's go to turingmachine.info for the details. So today's puzzle uses the following 5 criteria cards. Criteria card 3, 7, 9, 19, and 20. And the puzzle uses the blue verification cards. The code above is your way to get more details on today's puzzle by searching it on turingmachine.info. Let's go solve. So in the grid above, we've got our 5 criteria cards. On the top row, we've got criteria card A, criteria card B, and criteria card C. On the bottom row, we've got criteria card D and criteria card E. So criteria card A looks at that middle digit, the square digit, and we'll be comparing it to the number 3. So should the value of square be less than 3, should it be equal to 3, or should it be greater than 3? Criteria card B looks at the last digit, the circle digit, and will let us know whether its value is an even or an odd. Criteria card C looks at our 3-digit solution and will let us know how many of those digits are 3. Are there no 3s in our solution? Is there 1, perhaps 2, maybe even all 3 digits are 3. Criteria card D looks at the first 2 digits, the triangle, the square, adds them up, and compares the sum to the number 6. So should the sum be less than 6? Should the sum be equal to 6? Or should the sum be greater than 6? And finally, criteria card E looks at our 3-digit solution and will let us know something about how it's structured. Specifically, it will let us know whether all 3 digits have no repetition, or basically that they're all unique, as in the example 1, 2, 5, or possibly our 3-digit solution does have a double number, which means that a single digit is repeated, as in the example 1, 1, 2, or potentially it may even be a triple number, a single digit that's repeated 3 times, as in the example 2, 2, 2. Remember, our objective today is to find this unique 3-digit code that abides by all the criteria cards we just discussed. And we're going to start off with our initial proposal of 314. So the first thing I want to test is I want to see if that middle digit is a circle. I mean, of course it's a circle, if it's an even or an odd. So let me go ahead and test criteria card B. Okay, so the Turing machine responds that it does not approve. Notice that in my proposal, my circle value, I chose 4. 4 is an even. So basically the Turing machine is telling me, nope, even is not valid. So basically it's telling me that circle must be an odd value. So let me go ahead and write that down in my notes for section B, that circle is an odd value. Okay, so since it is odd, it cannot be an even digit, so we're going to cross out both 2 and 4. Okay, so the next thing I'd like to test is I want to see if, what the structure of the solution is. If it has no repetitious or no duplicated digits as in the example, or is there a repeating digit, or is it a triple? So let's go ahead and test criteria card E. Okay, so it approves of my proposal of 314. Notice that all the digits are unique, so that means that there are no repetitions. So that's what I'll write down in my notes for section E. No repetition. Okay, so since there are no repeating digits, the only thing we know for sure is that there's a single odd, at least, and we still don't know much about triangle and square. But we do have criteria card D that will let us know a little bit more about triangle and square. So let's go ahead and test criteria card D. Okay, so it does approve of my proposal. Notice that I do have 3 and 1 for triangle and square, If I sum those up, I get a 4. So the Turing machine is confirming that triangle and square must have a sum that's less than 6. So let me go ahead and write that down in my notes for D, or in D. Okay, so triangle plus square must add up to be less than 6. Okay, so if the sum is less than 6, then that would mean that neither triangle nor square can be a 5, because if either of them were a 5, at a minimum 5 plus 1 is already 6, and again our sum needs to be less than 6. So we can cross out 5 for triangle and 5 for square. And I'm experiencing a little bit of a lag. Okay, so no 5 for triangle and square. Well, that does it for this turn, or this round. We've already done our 3 Turing tests, and so now we're going into the phase where we're going to be discussing how to construct a good second round proposal. So I did not test whether there's a 3 or not. Remember, since our solution has to be all distinct digits, either the 3 is there or it's not. And let's see what else. And we didn't test what the value of square could be. So let's talk about that. Let's see. Since we already crossed out the 5, if perchance square could be greater than 3, that would leave it to be a 4, and that would force triangle to be a 1. So that would be 1, 4. And so what could force, and I guess if we're already down to that, then because they're all unique, it couldn't be a 1, and then criteria card C would let us know whether there is a 3 or there isn't. So that would be a 50-50. What else? Yeah, because we can't cross out the 4s because 4 plus 1 is 5. And so remember, we are talking about all unique values. So it couldn't be 2, 3 or 3, 2, like for a 5, or could it? Let's see, if it's 2, 3, if it's 2, 3, well, that's interesting. If it's 2, 3 or 3, 2, meaning that either triangle or square are 3, well, that would tell us, yes, there is a single 3, but it wouldn't tell us anything about what circle would be, because we already do have the single 3, but there's nothing here I don't see in our criteria cards that would tell us that 1 or 5 would be, our purple circle value. So if there is a 3, it would have to be in circle. If there is, there's no guarantee. It doesn't have to. And then, of course, we already discussed about the 1, 4. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with 1, 4. Now the question is, does it matter if it's there or not? 1, 4. I'm going to say 1, 4, 5. It's a 50-50. So let's go ahead with 1, 4, 5. And so let me just verify. Yeah, I'd be testing criteria card A. Okay. Well, yeah, okay, so let's go ahead. Yeah, let's just do that. And again, if there's a 3, let's see, could it be, like I said, I don't think 3 could go in for triangle or square. Well, let's see, 3 plus 4 is 7, so that's not going to work. So it'd either be 1, 3 or 2, 3. If it's 1, 3, and I don't think it would be 1, 3, because then, 5 would have to be a 5. There's no duplicates. So it wouldn't be 1, 3 or 3, 1 for that matter. Because again, 5 circle would automatically be 5. And, well, does that matter? Does that matter? I don't know. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me just go ahead and test criteria card A. Yeah, I think A would be best because that would default triangle to be a 1. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay, yeah, so I deduced pretty well that square has to be greater than 3. And so that's in A. So square needs to be greater than 3. Notice that I do have a 4 in for square. That means that 4 is greater than 3, so square has to be greater than 3. And so what that means then, of course, is that my square value, the only thing it could be is that 4. Well, let's see, that's going to be a lot. So let me actually just move all of these down. So it can't be a 1, can't be a 2, can't be a 3, and of course the 5 was already crossed out because of criteria card D. Okay, so yeah, that's 4, and because of criteria card D, the only valid value triangle is forced to be a 1, because 4 plus 2 is already a 6, and of course anything greater for triangle would still be invalid as far as criteria card D is concerned. So yeah, so that means that all of the above for triangle are also invalid. So we already know it's 1, 4. Of course, because there's no repetitions, we can now cross out the 1 since we've already established triangle to be 1. And yeah, so now it just defaults to C, is there a 3 or not? So let's go ahead and test criteria card C. Okay, so I don't have a 3, so let me go ahead and write down to my notes. Yeah, there's no 3. So no 3 digit. And so we'll just cross the 3 out as well as the 4 from previous. And so yeah, so the solution is 1, 4, 5. So very fortunate that the cards were as such where I was just looking for, typically when I construct second round proposals, I look for sort of, I don't know, for lack of a better term or description, fringe cases or extreme cases, because again, typically, not always, one digit or another needs to be forced into another value. So when I saw criteria card A and I looked at the fact that the 5 was crossed out, so because the sum is no more than 6, I push the square to its extreme. So if it's a 4, it forces a triangle then to be a 1, because anything larger would exceed the sum. So sometimes you need to think in those terms. How can you push it to a fringe case or an extreme case? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the cards are more complicated or the cases are just too abundant to be able to do that. But And I don't know, could it be because it was a 5-card puzzle, less choices? I'm not sure, but that's typically how I think how to solve. Okay, so I think, yeah, we'll just review really quick. Is the middle digit greater than 3? Yes. Is the last digit an odd? Yes. There is no 3, correct. The sum of the first 2 is less than 6, and there are no repeats. So the review went well. Yes, 145 looks to be the solution. Let's verify. So on turingmachine.info, we're going to plug in 145. And let's verify. Okay, yeah, exactly. And so again, we're trying to see if we beat the Turing machine. The fact that we tested exactly the 5 criteria cards will lead me to believe that, yeah, we probably tied, at best or at worst tied with the Turing machine. But who knows? Maybe we got an additional question less than the Turing machine. So notice that we did test everything. The only thing that failed was B, and we did B, D, E first. So let's go ahead and type that up. So B was wrong, and then we did D, E, and then in our second round we did both A and C, and they both were correct. So how do we do? Wow, I'm actually surprised. Extremely surprised that it took the Turing machine 7 questions or 7 queries and 3 rounds. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure if we didn't really have a major aha moment, but I guess, like I said, kind of going to that extreme case, we're not just guessing, we're talking through and seeing what could be a viable second round proposal. So yeah, that really surprises me. Well, leave a comment, let me know how you did, and did you find anything unusual, or did you see where I could have maybe done it in even less than 5? I'd really like to hear what you think. If you did like the video, please do give it a thumbs up so that other people can find the channel. And if you don't want to miss out on any future videos, please do hit subscribe so that way you'll be notified of when the next video becomes available. Well, until next time, have a great one.